I'm so excited that I have something to share with you. And I'm having a brain fart. When I was young, my mom taught me a simple prayer that I didn't realize would shape the entirety of my life. It was to be placed in the path of those who needed help. For years, I thought that meant helping in small, everyday ways. But recently, I came to the deeper realization that that lifelong prayer was the catalyst for every hardship I have ever faced. Each struggle, each loss was shaping me, preparing me to help others in a bigger way. It's been a journey of learning resilience, empathy, and strength, but now I'm here to share those stories to help others find hope in their darkest moments, and to show that even the hardest trials can lead us to our deeper purpose. I'm your host, Caitlin, and I cannot tell you how much it means to me that you are joining me for episode 4 of your Breakthrough podcast. I have a confession. It's plagued me for a very long time, and I finally brought it back up to my mom maybe a week and a half ago with a relic that my dad found because Quinn got hurt at his house. Quinn is my youngest daughter. I was with my mom when I was probably 7 or so. We were at the store, and I saw a box of Band-Aids that looked like tattoos. I was like, oh my gosh, I would love a tattoo. And I grew up very, very Mormon, so the idea of a tattoo or even the appearance of a tattoo is something my mom would say no to 100%. So my little 7-year-old self, when she wasn't looking, took the box of Band-Aids and took 2 of them out and then shoved the box in the back. This is at Walmart. It just so happened to be school season, so I was going shopping with my mom, and my little childlike brain didn't realize this was going to be an issue. We're in the car, and I slap one on my shoulder, and I slap another one on my belly, and I have these awesome tattoo Band-Aids, rocking my tattoo Band-Aids. I was like, when I get home, I'm going to show my brother. I'm going to trick him. He's going to think I have real tattoos. And we immediately go to Ross after I had just put these stickers on. We're going clothing shopping, and I don't know why I didn't put it together that I might have to take my shirt off for my mother. So I was made to feel guilty for even wanting these tattoo Band-Aids. Like, why do you want tattoo Band-Aids when there's normal Band-Aids? So we'd already had a conversation about Band-Aids. She knew I wanted them. All of a sudden, we're in the dressing room, and I am panicking. I am trying to hide in the corner. She's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to pick this thing off my stomach. And she turns me around, and she's like, oh, you stole those Band-Aids. And I was like, I stole Band-Aids. I felt so stupid. My mom did not buy me clothes. She yanked me out of that Ross dressing room. We went immediately back to Walmart. She marched me to the front, and we had to find a manager. And I had to tell this manager that I stole Band-Aids. And I was mortified. I didn't have any money. My mom made me pay for them with her money, and then I had to do child slave labor to pay her back for these Band-Aids. I was at my parents' house just a couple weeks ago, and Quinn got hurt, and my dad, he doesn't know where all the stuff is like my mom does, and my mom was busy with me. So my dad goes into the back. He's rummaging around for a while. He comes back out holding this box of Band-Aids. How old are these Band-Aids? I'm freaking out. I'm like, those are not those Band-Aids that we bought from Walmart that I stole. And my dad's like, no, that can't be that old. Look at this box. They're not that old. I'm like, Mother would never, ever buy tattoo Band-Aids. I know this because I had to steal them to get some. So Quinn puts his tattoo Band-Aid on. I put a tattoo Band-Aid on. I'm so nostalgic. I'm remembering this whole situation. And it brings me to the reason why I wanted to make money. I think that my salesperson origin story began when I was looking up at this tall Walmart manager confessing that I stole them. And the thing is, even if I did have the money, my mom would never let me buy those tattoo Band-Aids. But I stole them. I could have gone back with my brother and bought them or something. We used to walk to Walgreens all the time when you didn't worry you'd get kidnapped. But I realized I wanted to have my own money. I wanted to be able to buy things, and I never wanted to have to steal anything ever again. And I think that shook me. My mom's like, you could have gone to jail. You've been in jail forever. You know how we terrify our kids. So that really, really stirred up a little entrepreneurial spirit in me. And I just want to tell you a few stories about why I love sales, a few stories about when I got into sales and why I think that sales are the best place you can be if you want to make an uncapped income. So my first experience with realizing I was an entrepreneur is babysitting for my sister. I've got 13 nieces and nephews. I'm the youngest of 5, and my oldest sister, Allison, moved out when I was 7. I'm just a little girl when she's already moving out and getting married. So I became an aunt when I was 8, which was really cool for me. I was the youngest, so I didn't have any young siblings, but now I've got all these little nieces and nephews. So they would go on a date every Friday night, and they would come pick me up. I would babysit my little niece, Samantha, and they would go out. And since they lived a little bit further away, they're like, hey, why don't you just stay the night? You can have a sleepover, and we'll take you back in the morning. But I think this was 1998 when the Diamondbacks were doing really well. So all of a sudden, the Arizona Diamondbacks were having a really great season. And my brother-in-law, Nathan, was super into baseball. So on these Saturdays that I would babysit, they would take me to the baseball game with them. It was $1 to get in. And when you walk in, because they're doing so well, they had a promotion running, and they would hand you a scratcher ticket, and you would either get a bobblehead or you wouldn't get a bobblehead. And each week it was a different collector's bobblehead of the team players. So we walk in, I get this bobblehead, I get a scratcher for the bobblehead, and I'm like, I don't really care about a bobblehead. They're like, here, you got to go turn it in to get your bobblehead. And this guy's like, dang it, I didn't get one. What am I going to do? I've got all the other ones. And I was like, do you want to buy this bobblehead from me? He's like, oh, sure, how much? I'm like, $5? He's like, girl, I would have paid you $50. I was like, what? $50. I am 12 years old, and this man's talking about $50. Like, I was getting $12 to babysit my niece for the whole night. So I'm like, oh my gosh. I just had like method unlocked in my head. I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. I spent the entire baseball game going from person. I hawked these tickets. I sat at the entrance for the entire game. Someone walks in, they scratch it, they get a bobblehead. They're like, oh, really cool. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't get one. Do you mind if I buy it from you? They're like, sure, how much? I'm like, $5? They're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Or they're like, oh, I really don't care about it, have it. I had a stack of 20, 25 bobblehead scratchers. I went from person to person to person. When they walk in, if they didn't get one, I'm like, did you really want one? Because I'll sell it to you. They're like, heck yeah, I'll sell it to you. I felt like 20 was a little more fair. 50 just felt a little outrageous. And I literally knew if I came home with thousands of dollars, my mom would be very upset with me for some reason. So I don't know why 20 was my number. Sell it for 20, get one for 5. Sell it for 20, get one for free. Sell one for 20, get one for free. I didn't even have pockets the first day I did this. I was so unprepared. I'm walking around with wads and wads of cash. I'm too little to wear a bra. I'm like having to shove cash in my undies, and I have to finally go find my sister. And I'm like, hey, Nathan, Allison, will you hold my money? They're like, what have you been doing? Where have you been? This is before cell phones. So I'm like, I'm just selling bobbleheads. No big deal. Here, hold my money. And Nathan just dies laughing, like panic attack laughing, as I'm like pulling all these bills out. Like they're falling into my pant legs, like into my shoes. And I'm like, here, hold my money. I go back for the last hour of this game. I made $600 at 12. And I go home and my mom is like, what are you doing with this money? And she takes most of it. I'm like, dang it. And as a kid in the Mormon church, you pay 10% of your tithing. So she's like, give me $60. That's your tithing. And I was like, what? $60? And she's like, and how much did you make babysitting? Give me $1.20. I'm like, dang it. So she takes most of my money, but I still had some money. That was my first taste of entrepreneurship, 12 years old. And I realized if there's an opportunity and you hustle, you can make as much money as you want. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what your experience is. If you're willing to put yourself out there and try something, I made $600 as a 12-year-old, and you've bet your booty that I went back to every single baseball game with my brother-in-law and sister, until the Diamondbacks, they won the World Series, right? They won? They did not win. Diamondbacks did not win. But I did. I won a lot of money. And then I discovered I was an entrepreneur. Second story, after I've discovered you can make money, is there was a massive storm. I think it was close to the same year. Massive storm hit my family's neighborhood. It was called a microburst, and it knocked down our back fence completely with a huge tree. And we lived on a golf course. It's called Bel Air Golf Course in this neighborhood. And so our back fence was a fence, and then it has wrought iron so you can see the golfers. So one Saturday, our fence is knocked down, and I'm like, me and my brother would go golf that couple holes. We would just like take his golf club and break into the golf course and golf those few holes. But I'm like, I could take my wagon and pull it through the back and then go straight to where that street is and park my little lemonade stand right where all these golfers come through the street crossing. Otherwise, I would have to go all the way around, and my mom would never have let me go to the golf course to sell lemonade if I had to go all the way around. Seeing that this tree was knocked down, I could see where I would set up my lemonade stand, and I begged my dad to buy me a Costco bucket of Country Time lemonade powder. I'm like, please, you have to buy this for me. It's so hot. I see the golf cart girl driving around all the time. I see her every day driving in my backyard. I'm like, I wonder how much she makes. Like, I don't know that she has to like pay anyone else. I think in my little head, I'm like, she's doing that by herself. I'm like, I want to be the drink girl. So I drag my little lemonade stand out to the entrance where they cross in. Like a brain fart. So I drag my little lemonade stand out there, set it up, and I write my signs and everything. First few golfers come through. I'm like, hi, it's so hot. Would you like some lemonade? Oh, no thanks, no thanks. I'm like, this dang cart girl has got me. Like, what does she have that I don't have? I didn't know about alcohol or anything. I didn't know they wanted a beer, not a lemonade from a little girl. So as they're coming, I'm like, I don't know how to get these people to buy my lemonade. And this one guy just looked super hot. He's like red-faced, like sweating, and I have this cold lemonade. He comes through. I'm like, hey, would you like to buy a glass of lemonade? He's like, oh, no, thank you, sweetheart. I'm like, you look really hot. Here, you should just have a glass. And I hand this guy a glass of lemonade, and he hands me $100 bill. I was like, is this how, I gave him a free lemonade, and this guy thought it was so sweet that he gave me a $100 bill. You better believe every single golfer that came through from then on got offered a free glass of lemonade. I definitely sold a few, but I walked away almost every Saturday that entire summer with $200 because I was offering lemonade to people, even if they didn't want to pay me for it because it was hot outside, and they felt like that was a sweet thing to do, and they rewarded me with buying a glass of lemonade instead of just taking it for free. That is another story that my dad thinks is just the funniest thing on earth, because I begged him to buy me the lemonade. He's like, okay, but you got to pay me back with whatever you make. And I come walking back in the house with a couple $100, and he's like, you're selling these for 50 cents? I'm like, yeah. How many did you sell? How many cups do you have? I'm like, oh, I got a lot of cups left. I got a lot of lemonade left. He's like, a lot of people didn't even want it if I offered it to them. They still just tipped me anyway because I was a cute kid selling lemonade. So thankfully that storm knocked down the fence, so I had the ability to get to the golf course to sell it. And my dad didn't even make me pay him back for the lemonade, so I think he was impressed with my entrepreneurial skills. Another favorite story of mine is when I was in high school, junior high, because I got in trouble and my brother didn't. We would ride to this Walgreens right down the street all the time, and my mom was kind of nervous about us going, but she let us go. So we ride to Walgreens, and my brother and I would always just get candy. I'm a candy fanatic. It's actually kind of a problem. We're doing the keto diet right now, and I am suffering. So do you guys remember Fun Dip? It's like a packet of Pop Rocks, and then it has a foot sucker, and you dip the foot sucker in, and you eat the Pop Rocks. One of my favorite candies ever. So we go to Walgreens, and there's boxes and boxes, like the full retail sale boxes of Fun Dip, and they're labeled 5 cents. 5 cents for the box. No, it was 5 cents each pouch in the box. So I think you could buy an entire box of Fun Dip for like $5 or $2.50 or something. So me and my brother run home as fast as we can, scrape together what money we have, and run back to Walgreens with backpacks and buy every single box of Fun Dip, because I told him we're gonna sell it at school. If we can sell each of these 5 cent Fun Dips for $1, we're gonna be rich. So my brother gets to do it. He goes to school, he's in high school, he's selling all these Fun Dips. He's like, this is amazing, I'm almost out. And my mom confiscates all of mine because I'm a candy fanatic and she thinks I'm just going to eat all of them instead of sell them. And my brother's in high school, so kids are allowed to have candy in high school. But if you're selling candy to kids in middle school, we're going to get in trouble. What if you have like a diabetic kid? Anyway, all the red flags. My mom didn't let me, but I did definitely sneak those Fun Dip. So she thought she was preventing me from eating them by selling them, but they were just in her closet. And sorry, Mom, but I would go in and sneak those Fun Dip all the time. The next time I realized, I was like, okay, sales is definitely my thing. I moved out of my house when I was 16 years old, really strapped for cash. When I moved out of my house, I had a backpack and my parents didn't let me come get anything else. So I was like, I have to make some money because I cannot wear the same outfit to my high school every single day. I immediately went across the street at my brother's house and got a job at a hair salon. I found a friend who ran a kiosk at a place called Desert Ridge. It was a toy kiosk. So you know when you're like in an outdoor mall, there's those little booths in the middle and they sell toys. I got a job there. I started slinging toys so heavy duty that I sold them out. They had remote control cars. They had flying little droids. They had the Nintendo game where it's just a Nintendo handle and you plug it in. It has all the games on it. And I was getting paid a small hourly wage, but I was also getting paid commission. So after 4 weekends of selling out and them getting more stuff from other stores around the valley to like help me have more stock, he tells me that he's gonna have to lower my commission because it's getting too expensive to pay me. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm selling out all your toys and this is the commission you're willing to pay. I don't understand why selling more is a problem. He's like, no, it's just too much. I'm like, okay, well, I quit. The next job I got was at K Jewelers. K Jewelers was a fancy place. I didn't know I could make that much money, but I happened to be really good at jewelry sales, made a lot of money, really exciting. I loved that job. Then I got married. Halfway through my marriage, we started struggling with money really bad, super bad. My ex-husband had started working for a company called Edward Jones, and they take 60% of your commission, and he had never been in sales, and Lily was just born. I was super bored being at home. I'm used to working. So I started a couple Etsy stores. Those Etsy stores started to do really well. I was hand sewing baby clothes. I was hand sewing replacement camera straps. I was sewing costumes for kids for Halloween. And it was doing really well, but all of a sudden the SEO changed and my sales stopped. So now my income from Etsy, like working my guts out to like make all these baby products and tutus and clothes, my income stops. And my ex-husband's income was not enough to keep us afloat, and we were about to lose our house. I see online this guy that I knew from high school is like traveling the world, traveling all the time, saying that he's like in a different city. And I'm like, what do you do for work? And he's like, oh, I do door-to-door sales. I sell pest control door-to-door in Chicago. And I was like, looks like you travel a lot. He's like, oh yeah, we only work 3 months a year. I'm like, and you make enough in 3 months to travel like this and not have to work? He's like, oh yeah, we make really good money. And I was like, will you send me over like a commission sheet? I just want to take a look. I had a 3-year-old, well, I had done the Etsy stores for 3 years. By this time, everything was great, making a lot of money. Etsy changed, couldn't make money with Etsy anymore. So then I'm asking him, send me a commission sheet. He's like, I will, but there's no reason to send you a commission sheet. Girls don't do this, especially moms don't do this. He's like, you've got a 3-year-old at home? Like, just stay home, do your Etsy thing, like figure this out. Girls don't come out here and they don't do door-to-door sales in the streets of Chicago selling pest control. I was like, that's fine, just send me the sheet. Sends me the commission sheet, and I had never seen the ability to make that much money in my life. I'm like racking up, like my mind's going crazy. I'm like, I am gonna do this. I don't care what anybody says. Like, I talked to my ex-husband. I'm like, this is an opportunity. Like, they're making this kind of money doing door-to-door sales, and they only have to be out there for 3 months. And he's like, you wanna go do that? I'm like, I need to go do this. And they were already out there for the summer. Usually they have a whole pre-sale season where they're training, they're going out to market, they're learning about the product, learning how to sell, learning what door-to-door sales is like. They were already out there for 2 weeks. And I was like, I got that commission sheet. I talked to my ex-husband. I talked to a few of my closest friends. I'm like, I think I'm going to do this. His name is Mike. I call Mike and I'm like, I booked a plane ticket and I'm coming. And he's like, how do you even know where we are? I'm like, it's right here on the commission sheet. I'm going to come do door-to-door sales. He's like, we don't have an apartment for you. We have nowhere for you. You have no training. We don't have any outfits for you. There's no uniforms. Like, I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I literally just spent my last few dollars on a plane ticket, and I rented a car for the whole month because I need a car. And so I booked it for the whole month, and it's not refundable. So I have to come for at least a month. He's like, this is the biggest mistake of your life. You don't know how many people come out here and fail. This is the hardest job I can think of. You just wasted your money, but sure, go ahead. You can come sleep on me and my fiance's couch. And I was like, okay. Spent one night there, and then I ended up getting hooked up into a different apartment, sleeping on the couch nearly the whole summer while I did door-to-door sales. Within the first week, Mike, trying to get me to go home, drops me off in a terrifying neighborhood. I had the worst experience. It was raining. It was a scary neighborhood. A guy knocked my clipboard out of my hand because his wife was trying to agree that maybe she wanted it. And then he came to the door, scattered my papers, really scared the crap out of me, but I sold 2 that day. My very first day, I sold 2 contracts, and I knew that I was going to stick it out. I ran door to door. I woke up for everyone else. The second the meeting was over, I was out running door to door. I did not take a lunch. I was the last one home. I sold my guts out, and I flew home every other week to see Lily and my ex-husband every other weekend, and then I would come back. So I was even missing weekends. I ran myself into the ground. I blew out my knee, embedded a chip from my kneecap into my ACL, and was still limping through it. I ended up making number 8 in their top 10 for new salespeople, and I got to go on a big cruise to Cabo. We got a cruise to the Bahamas. I made $34,000 in the 8 weeks that I was selling. That's the most money I've ever made, ever, and that's when my eyes lit up to the fact that if you can find sales, if you can find anywhere where you can be in charge of your own sales, you can make whatever money you want. I ended up going back a few more summers, and I did that. Ended up switching over to Vivint, selling home security systems, and I got pregnant with Quinn, and I was selling, and I ended up getting placenta previa, which put you on bed rest. So I had to quit doing sales, and the very next year I divorced. So I would have loved to continue door-to-door sales. I was supposed to be getting my own office and hiring my own team and everything, but it didn't work out because I couldn't leave my girls when I was divorced. The timing didn't line up. So that is my experience in sales. I got to learn in person, face-to-face, interrupting people in their lives. When the women would come to the door with raw chicken on their hands because they're cooking dinner, and I'm trying to tell them that they have bugs up there and they're gross. And the amount of bugs that I saw, I could tell you stories for days about centipedes in Chicago and how they're terrifying. But if you can find sales in anything, you can make the income you want. And people think that sales are smarmy or bad or car salesmen, and there is that. But if you know that you have something that people need or want, if you're passionate about a product, especially if it's something like what you created, if you created a digital product based on something that you know about, that is why digital products are exploding, because people can take experiences that they have through past jobs, relationships, anything they've been through, life stories, and create it into a digital product. And if you buy a digital product from someone who has been through exactly what you're wanting to learn, you're getting direct education from the source rather than going to a university and learning from a professor who learned about the thing he's trying to teach you about, but has never actually actively been through the thing they're trying to teach you. And I'm sure there's situations where that's not true, but mostly that is why education is shifting in such a huge degree to online digital products by individuals. If you want to learn how I made money online and all the things that I did to get here, all of my sales experience, all my failures, all my lessons, all my wins to build a multiple 6-figure business online, I am going to create a digital product that's going to teach you how to do it, and that is the most valuable experience possible. Instead of learning from a professor how to do sales, learn from someone who's done it and get the experience from someone who has made multiple six figures doing it. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just saying that experience in any of these digital products that you're seeing is exact, precise education, learning the exact same thing you want to learn inside of a document that you can whip through in an afternoon on your time in the bathtub. Like whatever you're doing, you can just sit down and learn from someone who's done it. Digital products are exploding right now, and that's why. Education is expensive. Education takes years. Education puts you in debt unless you're learning specifically what you want to learn from a digital product. I've bought so many digital products over this last year. Do I want to learn Canva? Do I want to learn CapCut? Do I want to learn how to make Reels go viral better? Do I want to learn how to write sales copy better? I just got a digital product that is showing me how to use ChatGPT in the most insane way that my mind is absolutely blown. I can't believe I was missing this for an entire year. Now I'm like, my job is so much easier now that I know how to use ChatGPT, and it was given to me in a digital product from a ChatGPT expert who knows exactly what they're doing. So that's why digital products are insane right now. That's why personal branding is insane right now, because you can do affiliate marketing, digital products, courses, you can do one-on-one coaching, you can do group coaching. You can bring yourself to the table using your story and your experiences, and people will pay you for your experience, and it's only growing. It's only getting more and more prevalent that people are making their money online with information products and courses and online education, and I think it's a really beautiful thing. It's taking people out of the workplace. I'm sure it's gonna, I hesitate to say it's kind of cured my depression, but I was super depressed, super sick of my circumstances, really did not see a way out, did not know how I would climb out of the hole of debt that I was in, working just out here in the world. Growing this Instagram page and starting this, what was meant to be a little side hustle to earn me enough just to get by, has turned into the most unbelievably life-changing experience. And I am so thrilled to get to be a representative to you about what can happen in a year. My 1-year anniversary is coming up, and I have never in my life had such a transformation in a matter of a year before. If you get started, things move quickly. If you keep at it, if you have faith in yourself, if you do not stop, and you have an almost sick understanding that you're not going to give up until you do make it work, because I feel like that's the only way you'll fail in this space is if you stop trying before you win. Through all of my experience with sales, I've learned that digital products are something that no one can take away from you. I'm not a little girl anymore. I'm not going to be hawking bobbleheads. I'm not going to be selling lemonade to golfers. And I'm certainly not going to have an experience like door-to-door sales taken away from me because of a life event like a divorce. If you can create a digital product, a personal brand, or a page on Instagram, an email list that is yours, that is a business. That is your business, and no one can take it from you. You can do whatever you want with it. Affiliate marketing, grow your own following, your email list that you can market anything to. People will come, people will love you, people will learn from you if you put yourself out there and use your story to create a brand that lasts. So over the years, what I've learned since I was a tiny girl with all of this sales experience is no matter the opportunity, if you don't own it, it can end. The door-to-door sales thing ended from circumstance. I'm not a little girl selling lemonade anymore, but creating a brand, that's something that's yours. No one can take it away from you. And you can build it to be as big or little as you want. Launch a podcast, one-on-one training, teach a course, whatever you want to do with it. When you get into sales and you can build something like a digital product, the sky's the limit. Thank you for joining me on Your Breakthrough Podcast. Remember, your story has the power to change your life and inspire others. Don't settle for anything less than the good life that's meant for you. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a review so we can keep the momentum going. Keep at it until your journey is your biggest triumph. Until next time.